Hello, welcome. I'm Will, the Nerdy Nerf Herder. Thank you for joining me. Tonight we're going to resume working on Pokopia. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. So we're going to jump right into the build. So this build kit needs to be reassembled. It was from where I had moved something ages ago and forgot to rebuild it when we were building something else. But in order to make this a little easier, we're going to start placing down some soil blocks here. And we're just going to go throughout this entire area here, and we're going to place these soil blocks. And that way we've got a nice, easy kind of pathway for our Pokemon once they hit those doors there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to go all the way around this kind of area here. We're not going to do the whole zone yet. We're just wanting to get a certain couple doors access here. I have Pokemon on standby that we're going to be moving into the greenhouse apartment. So in my last greenhouse build, I also put a gardener's apartment and shed as part of the build. And this one I did the same. Now this one's a little different than the last one, so for one, the interior of this greenhouse is probably bigger than the entire build of the old one. That's a start. But we'll see here. One more row here. And then we're going to call that good. And we're going to go get 2 Pokemon that we can use with that kit. We need a Pokemon with build. And we'll get them started building. And then we'll work on the upstairs for just a little bit. Because what's upstairs won't take very long. Alrighty, we need to build Pokemon. There's only one build Pokemon I trust. When I don't have them active building something else. I have to admit, it's been a while since I've had them building something else. Anymore, it's become, I'm not worried about prefabs right now. Like, I tossed in some prefabs here to help fill up some space and to help get some Pokemon despawning while keeping their litter nearby. For example, I have a crush house. They crush my berries and make my ink. I want to keep them around. So one thing I always like to do is kind of glance around the house just a little bit to see if I see Tinkmaster's hammer floating around somewhere, because for some reason my brain always feels a little guilty summoning a whole house full of Pokemon just for one of them to be the one we need. We're not trying to talk to you. There we go. Nope. Tinkmaster and Mew are my unofficial build combo. Unless I need any particular other person with them for a particular ability, I tend to bring Mew and Tinkmaster. Because, like, Mew doesn't get hung up on stuff. So it floats happily along. And doesn't flash the message. It's someone's having trouble following you. But we'll get these two working on rebuilding that move kit. And then once that's done, we'll be good to go in that area to start building down below. But I don't want to try to build with them still working on it. I should probably wait on Tinkmaster. He was so cute going. Yeah, Mew's like, what terrain? Come on, guys. You got this. Though it does highlight the point that I am looking forward to terraforming this area. But I want to get the entirety of our structure here built and filled out on the inside. And all the exterior details working on. That we're working on done. And then we can start doing the terraforming around the building to make the exterior look just chef's kiss. Alrighty, so now we're gonna head upstairs. I mean, we could fill that entire floor full of dirt to get it out of my inventory, but I just don't see the point in it now. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead. Start up here. Get this builder working. So the first thing we're going to work with are some natural elements. We're going to give this room a little bit of a centerpiece to make it look nice. And then we're going to get these handrails put in place and these stairs put in place. Alrighty. So the first thing we're going to do is put up some guardrails for our stairs. Because this is where we want it to be. So we're going to do our stairs 2 wide, pretty much going straight down. Again, we don't want to go all the way down, because we still have our floor to put underneath them. And then we'll just go to the other side and do that again. Voila. And then we're going to take this cliff rock and we're just gonna box it in here. And this will make us almost like a cave effect in the future, is what I'm wanting to go with for this. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out in the grand scheme of things. Right now, it's still kind of an idea in my head, but we'll get there. The bottom is probably going to be the last area of focus for the build. That's going to be kind of a nature free-for-all, so to speak. That wasn't supposed to be like that. We'll be so focused on natural elements for a majority of the bottom section of the greenhouse. And it's going to be kind of one of those things where it's going to take a little bit of tweaking to get everything just right. Because I want it to look kind of like Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory, but veggies. And that may seem silly, but... Alright, so Ditto is basically too high. So we're going to go right below here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a connecting row. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And that little connecting row is going to serve its purpose for some build ideas that I've got further down the line. Because we want to be able to transform right here. Because that's the way water effects work. Alright. That's a wrap. So yeah, we built another furnace. And this area is meant to be the kitchen. And my thought process is this furnace looks like it could pass for a pretty awesome pizza oven. Alrighty. So what's my dimension? 7 by 9. Let's get to work then. Alright. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this one out. And we're going to take this one out. We're going to go one over. Do this row. And then place these back. That way they end like that. Then we're going to take this seashore grass here. And we're going to make our ring. And then we're going to take a sort button. And we're going to put 2 there, 2 there, and so on. Alright, in the dead center, we're going to place this cube block. And on top of that, a sprinkler. There's 1. There's 2. And now we're gonna pull on out our green planks here. And these are just bridge planks painted green, which, believe me, is not very cost efficient on supplies. I wish they would fix how they do bridge planks, because as it is, if you want to dye bridge planks, it's like by the plank. When it really should be kind of like how we craft it in multiples of 5. Getting a little ahead of myself there, but that's okay. We got that one all the way finished, so... let's get these other ones now. So we're just going to get rid of these. We're going to go with you getting these flowers here. We're going to do our other kind of bluish flowers over here. Then we'll do our pink flowers here. And yellow over here. Alrighty. We're gonna get our yellow tall grass right there. And then there. So we're gonna put our chesto tree here. Then our raspberry tree there. Petcha here. And then finally our asperberry. Alright. So right next to this yellow. And then we're gonna do the blue cute flowers here. Then we got the pink. Then the white we're gonna put here. Adorable hedge. And feel free to use whatever color combinations you want when you're doing your own designs. This was just something I kind of threw together. And the idea was, okay, I wanted to use seashore flowers. And that's how this color scheme came to be. Or how I decided I wanted to do this. Based off of the colors of flowers I had to work with. And then kind of like the cute white, we're going to put them over, the white ones over here. And then finally we've got these wildflowers with the purple to match those purple stylish hedges. And to help provide a kind of different color, a splash of white in there to add some contrast. And that's our cute little centerpiece built here. Oh. One more flower. Bam. That's better. So now, we need something that makes it nice. Let's see here. Change the water level. And there you go. Nice little centerpiece for this room. Now I need to go fetch some supplies and eat a salad. Ooh. So, I was thinking more about the elevator. And the elevator is a service elevator meant for service staff only. So, like, maybe do something a little different? Alright. Where's my plaster wall? There it is. Alright. So, one of the things I was thinking about was that we want to box this elevator in more. I think it would look really nice boxed in more. So, we're going to swap those out for white here. And we're going to give this a little bit of an extension here. Not the upper. Lower wall. And then we need our upper wall. And if I need to go dye more, yeah, I'll dye more. Then so be it. Then we want our middle here. And our middle here. And since it's like that, then we'll fill it in with some of this plaster wall. So I know originally I was thinking I wouldn't put a window there to kind of fill in the gaps. But the more I thought on it, the more I like the idea of a little window there. But not just any little window. A hatch window. For some reason, in my brain, the hatch window being here looks absolutely adorable. And we'll have it open so that, still like before, people can see the food as it's coming off the elevator there. And like we could even do another window here. Like we could be like bam and bam. And we can get 2 more hatch windows and put them in there. So that way the server can see on either side who's coming and going as they're walking out the door. Especially since we need to paint more of the upper blocks. And look, see here? 2 more hatch windows. Alright, we need stylish upper wall painted dark. That brown color, we'll go ahead and do 10. Okay, since it's right here, might as well grab it. Now to summon our handy-dandy paintbrush. You all came running. So yeah, I've got Meowscarada, and I've got Florgato chilling over here with Smearguru, because by the time we are done today, they will have a new home. Alrighty. The other thing I did... Oh, that's why we didn't need to dye more extra. Darn it. Oh well. we've got our greenhouse started here. I went ahead and did a little diagonal across the front, or across this side, and on the other side, and that will help us with getting that put together. We're going to get rid of everything to the right of that line, so to speak. Alright. And there we go. There's our little elevator room. Oh, more hatch windows. Because again, they look adorable. Open like that, I think. With this stylish wall. There's something like I've used the plaster walls and I've used the stylish walls for other buildings before, dyed various colors, and the window panes that are bordered with the wood aren't bad in them, but there's just something about this, seeing how these hatch windows set in on that with the stylish wall. Every time looks good. So I originally wasn't wanting to do round tables, but I ended up going with these sheet tables because we could do the bottom curtain brown and it looked nice, and then we could do this print on top, which kind of gave it that ivy look, and it just kind of reminded me of a mossy tree stump. Two, and then we're just going to go right down the row here. Then we're going to go to the other side and do the same. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of mossy tree stumps, so I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I tested the antique tables in brown and to match this color scheme, and I wasn't as thrilled with that. And so, like, that's how we ended up here. I tried the wooden tables and tried to piece them together like picnic tables, but it just wasn't as good, I thought. The 1, 2. Yeah, we'll go ahead. And then we'll go back here. 1, 2. 1, 2. And then we've got all these chairs placed. That was silly of me. We'll just go across. Like this. As I try to be like as efficient as I possibly can for you. Because I really want to get through a majority of this build today. Like, I want us to get to the point where when we come back here, we're working strictly on setting up that greenhouse to make it look just right. We've got our dining room basically built. We've got the kitchens. We've got everything built. All that's left is to get that greenhouse looking good and then pop in with the final little bits of fine-tuning on the decor for the dining area. We're not going to do a whole lot of decorating here in this dining area today, because I think that's something that will fit best at the end. But we can totally get all these chairs placed and get it where all we have to do is come up here and put the extra little frills on it. And I think that's worth it. Plus, it gives me a little bit of a better idea of what space I'm working with, so I can test some ideas out for decor without it being too much of a bother for you all. So that way we can do it a little faster the day of. Which tomorrow's stream will not be our normal stream. So starting next Friday, we'll switch over to Friday afternoons for our Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic playthrough. Our Wednesday stream will no longer be happening. And I'll figure out possibly another stream to toss in there, and then I think what we're gonna start doing is like an every other Friday stream. Just because some things that happened in my personal life, I have been needing some more Fridays for personal reasons. This Friday, it happens to be that my mother has volunteered to watch my children, so that way my wife and I can go out and have a date night to celebrate her birthday, which is on Saturday. So, yeah. Special circumstances. Once a year. And even then, we weren't expecting her to be willing to do it, so, like, it was one of those almost last-minute things. So I need to get 2 more exhibition stands. Because I had an idea, and my original idea was to place it somewhere else, but I realized that was not the bright idea. Like, originally I was thinking, I could place it right here. People come in and, oh, wait. They're going to come in through both the doors, and if they see a table open right here, bam, we're sitting here right now. So then I was like, okay, what about a maitre d' station here? That way, when they come in through the doors, they can direct them to a table. And then I was like, okay, now we're going to need to duplicate it, because one is not going to be enough. Cover both entrances. Now, the other theory would be, let's put it out here. But we've already got this display here, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to put another one here. Which I can't even remember. Can we craft that? Or is that something I kind of have to... No, I can't. Okay. We're good. And I'll craft 2 more of those, another fancy pen and another notepad. On the theory that they can communicate with each other, they'll basically be responsible for each sitting one half of the cafe. But that's my thought process there. So before we try to go and make something else, what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to undo our transformation here. And we're going to start taking off these skylights. Because that's an easy tack on when we have to make another run elsewhere. While we still got plenty of stuff to do, that doesn't have me running all over. So we're going to try to reduce that running all over a little bit here for you. Also, I can't believe I managed to hit the wrong button. I meant to hit right trigger to catch myself. But even so, to hit the right bumper, hit Dragon Knight mode, and move over just in time to, like, belly up on the... That was luck. I'm not going to lie and say it was skill, that was luck. Fancy luck, but luck nonetheless. So we're going to get this kind of built in and get these skylights facing the other direction here. Because I don't want to try to triangulate that space up with this. It's just not going to look good. I still haven't gotten the flat roof that we need for it, but again, I don't want to run everywhere on you. It was bad enough I did it once for the blocks and then realizing, oh wait, I used upper blocks up there. I could have just removed the ones I had up there and that would have more than covered that little swash of... And now that I'm looking at it and see that marble... Still... Yep, and I put away the plaster wall. Go figure. That's how the brain works sometimes. You're so focused on one thing, suddenly, bam. Oh, I don't like that. I should have fixed that when I was putting that to begin with. But no. Alrighty, so we're going to take these blocks that are already dyed, probably, since they color match. Alrighty. Get these windows packed away. Now I do have some roofing corners already to go over in the nearby check, so no need to fret on going too far for that. That I already had prepped. I just have to get the top tile, so that way we have something that doesn't look like it's just glass. Which I know we did it on the other side where it's basically just glass at the top. And I mean, I could probably pull off a similar effect, but I was thinking go ahead and putting the flat roof tile along that line wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Paint it white, put it up there. And then I can get rid of those blocks from underneath the roof tile and it'll look nice. Of course, the other option would be to remove, rather than remove those blocks, just go ahead and swap them out for our Mystic Stone. So we want our windows right here. Which means I have to come up here a little bit. One line up. And again, right along here. Don't know if we'll have enough to actually finish this from what we took off, but we have plenty on standby, so no worries. But I definitely wanted to make sure we fix this roof. So another little quick modification that I made while kind of thinking about things. So U2 needed a new home. U2 has not been happy with his home. He was originally in the first museum in the science lab room, which was a tiny little corner, and he was like, it's too bright. I'm like, okay, that's fine, I understand. So I moved him to the Haunted Mansion for a while. Well, the problem is, Mewtwo requires doors to be 3 tall in order for him to really fit anywhere and go through. So, and most of the Haunted Mansion, once you got through the entryway, was 2 tall instead of 3 blocks tall. So, like the entryway into the mansion, 3 blocks tall. Entryway into the library, both entrances, 3 blocks tall. The iron door is 3 blocks tall. And so I was like, okay, I need to move Mewtwo to somewhere where he can really move around and it be nice for him. And so, like, I was like, okay, for right now, let's go ahead and try the lab. Let's put him in the lab and see if he fits. And so I swapped out our 2 brainy doors for for an iron door. So the door now, the lab now has an iron door, and I probably should paint that door white because I think it would look white if that ends up being a permanent fix. But right now we're kind of waiting to find out if Mewtwo's even happy with it, because I have a feeling it's kind of like 50-50. There's a lot of stuff in that room that he likes, but at the same time, there's not an actual bed. He's got access to chairs, he's got access to couches nearby where his habitat has been placed. So, like, there's that, but he doesn't have access to a bed. And I've noticed that most of our Pokemon in the game want to have access to a bed. That in order for you to give them really at awesome, you need to give them bed access. So, but yeah, alrighty. Get our corners placed. Which, that being said, most Pokemon have easier to meet requirements for having an awesome rating if they are in a prefab home. Take, for example, like Muck and Grimer. Like, I tossed in a broken cell phone and some electrical cords and like hardly anything. They have a bed, they have a chair, they have 1 or 2 pieces of decor each, and then 1 or 2 toys each. And like they're like super happy, awesome. Meanwhile, I've got Litten in the Litwick in the Haunted Mansion, literally surrounded by things that are on their liked list, and they're still like, yeah, this is nice. It could be better though. No hints on what I want changed, but it could be better. I could be happier. I'm just like, you have everything that I could think of. Which, by the way, for those of you tuning in, a great resource for this game is Joe Merrick's Cerebi.net. A lot of this community has contributed, and I know Joe put in a lot of work himself into stuff. Like, if you ever have questions like, okay, what Pokemon spawns in with what habitat? My habitat dex is still missing stuff. So, 1, 2, 3. 10. Oh, that is so nice. So, do we want to put a Magikarp or 2 up here? Let's put 2 Magikarps up here. We like golden Magikarps. Alrighty. So down we go. So we need 2 plaster wall. We're done with the skylights, I think, for now. That storage box can go in here for now. That's our natural. Oh, there's another storage box. Hey, there's a magic carp. And that's our natural balls. Okay. So this one was already painted white. Yeah, you can put a little magic carp there. Technically. Now that that's like that. No! Yes. Now that that's like that, we should be able to place the rest of the tiles connected to magic carp. And I think technically I could have placed the rest of the tiles connected to the tops of these skylights too, but oh well. Alright, we finally have our reason to go over here to do our crafty. Because I want to knock out this roof. I don't want to wait. I want to get to the next bit of our project here. So... 2... And then we need a fancy pen. Notepad. Need to make sure I put this on the build list. Where is my exhibition stand? Ah, right there. Alright. And then we need to add our corners. Which now I'm like, where did I put that? Did I put that? I don't think I put that. Alright, well there was 50 corners, so we need 60 corners of the stone hipped roof. Added to that build. So we'll build another 10 of those. We'll build another magic cart. And then I'm going to go ahead... Ooh. So if we do this flat one, it'll be even with the magic carp. If we do it arched, it'll end up kind of like the ones up there where it looks like we're going to do the arched. I don't know why I'm even debating on it. We're going to do the art. Or stone roof decoration version. Over the flat. So that gives us a little bit of a point, and then I'm going to make sure... I keep forgetting to do our daily tasks today. Problem solved. Okay, yeah, I didn't have any in there. We want to paint that white. I mean, we can go ahead and paint that white. That'll work. And then we want to paint that white. Yeah, whatever. Alright. Might as well do it in a batch of 10, even though we don't need 10 for it. And then up we go. Dragonite moves a little faster. So we'll start off by placing good old Magikarp. Yep, see, I could have put him up here and we could have saved time. Oh well. But yeah, I think having it arched like that, coming to that nice point, looks a lot nicer than having it be flat. And then I forgot to get him to paint our corner piece. Shoot fire. Oh, not look at this. Paint this. Again, might as well get it done. We'll pop those into place. Life will be good. And then we're going to start working on the lower areas. So the first area I think we're going to put out is the kitchen. I think doing the kitchen first makes the most sense. Plus, we're going to take advantage of some gapping still present. There we go. There's our nice roof. Now we just kind of slide our way down here. So we can... Oh. Plaster walls. And I needed 3, not 2. That's okay. And then we'll go ahead, put our Mater D stand. I like to think that whoever is working there has, that those pins aren't so attached that they can switch it between left and right depending on which hand is dominant for the worker. Marble. One more plaster wall, and then we'll toss all this natural block in here, because I don't want it necessarily cluttering up our inventory space right now. So we'll knock out the kitchen first, and then we're going to work on the gardener shed and the stuff that's in the chest there, in that room. So the first thing is the furnace, and then the second thing is I dyed this one white to be put right here. So this is going to be part of our kitchen, and it's going to be our deep freeze in the build. I should grab one of these. Just to be able to say we did things the right way. So, for our greenhouse build, I wanted the kitchen to be looking like it was hidden. And the best way I thought of doing that was we were going to have a natural wall that is cliff face. And that cliff face wall is what people will be able to see whenever they're coming through these doors, rather than being a normal wall. Alright, where's our door? There's our door. There. There's our little cliff face. And then, of course, we're going to seal our fate by making it go all the way around. And at some point during this build, I'll be like, oh, we need more lighting in the kitchen. Why did I design a kitchen surrounded by rock? No, I'm kidding. I know how to make more light. We're good. And truth be told, we're probably even, for most of this build, going to pull outside of this initial they come in here to this cliff wall is not going to stay exactly like this dimensions. We're probably going to change it, and it's going to look a little bit more natural. I'm debating on if I wanted to do like a motion sensor and like waterfall thing, so that way like the entrance to the kitchen is sealed until somebody opens the door and walks out, and then it triggers a switch that shuts off a waterfall that on either side here that they walk out of to go harvest veggies. And I was just like, that's too complicated. But we'll figure out something. Alright, so here's our kitchen space. So we need to get things cooking. But first, we gotta have a sink to do dishes in. You need a 3-compartment sink there. Let's see here. The fridge was there. Then I had another sink right next to the fridge for hand washing, as you don't wash your hands in the dish sink or the 3-compartment. Ah, that's what I had here. Right there and right there. And then one counter. And then we're going to put one block there. Do that. Then we got our cooking stoves. And my metrics are off. Oh, I know why. Which, you know what? I almost kind of like it like that. We're going to... yeah. We're going to keep it like that. Originally I had something else there. But we can put that right there. Got 2 cutting boards here. We got our frying pan. We got our pot. We're going to put 2 more ovens in here. organize. I'm gonna put that there. Get rid of those. Put another one right on top. Here's our shipments. Crates. And then one of the things I thought that would be kind of cool to have. We'll take a plain closet and a washing machine. Oh. We're going to move that all the way over. And the reason why I thought it was a good idea was the idea that rather than people having to take home their dirty aprons or chef coats or whatever, they would get washed and hung up. And then we had these push carts here for the servers to take trays of food up. And then I put one here, kind of in the middle of the room. Like it's getting ready to head up there. We got our berry clock for time. And then my thought was, we definitely want to have near our cooking area some pot, our spice rack, and I put some books here, kind of meant to be like cookbooks, in case the chef has some books for the staff to reference the recipes on, or highlighting special like ethnic cuisines that wouldn't normally be within the normal American wheelhouse. And then every kitchen needs fans, which I love to eat. And one of my favorite things to do is to try new foods. There are a lot of... I forgot. We need to kind of create something for me to turn them on with. Again, I've got to make sure they're too high. Clearance above them. Otherwise, Ditto cannot transform. There we go. That should get us. Turn on, turn on. So I figure let's toss this wireless transmitter right there. That powers that up. Oh. I promise I know how to control my character. Alrighty. Yeah. So that's our kitchen. And I'll add some like meal that's gonna go up there, like this from the Evolution line. That'll easily go up there. We got a first aid kit. All that's left is us lighting those up. Alright, put my kit in here. I did not put my kit in here. Oh well. That's an easy enough fix. I think it's in this third box. No. Did I not bring the kit? Guys, I didn't bring the kit. This is a tragedy. I mean, in theory, I guess that might be natural. Alrighty, let me get my kit. That way we can put our ovens alight. So when I say kit, I literally mean just our push button and Magby special. Alright, where's my Magby? Oh, there's my Magby. I was like, don't tell me I have to go all the way back to the base. Alrighty, so moving right along. The first thing we are going to do is we're going to put a block there. And then we're going to come up here. All the way up to there. Then we're going to go like this. And we're just going to wall off this. Like that. Then we're going to take our sloped stone roof. Or stone. Yeah, sloped stone roof. There. How about some more skylights? Because we love natural light. Oh yeah, this is where I need to also get some handy stone tiling. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be swapping out some blocks here. We want our stone tiling. So as we build this last line here, you'll see exactly why. Once we go much beyond that height there is when we start running into, oh, that's clipping real bad. It really doesn't make sense to have this protruding wall here anymore. Let's just put stone tiling. So that way it's a little more uniform in this space. And we don't have the same clipping that we had on the other. Now the other side, I have, so this is one of those little things where I kind of carved into the build a little bit while doing the test build and forgot to kind of put stuff back. I noticed that right before the stream started, so I apologize. So you don't get to see me destroy a wall. But that don't look too bad. So we're gonna make this room. Toss some boxes here. I'm gonna put a couple of carts in here. We're going to put a wheelbarrow. And then, how about a bucket full of tools? Some actual tools. And then, where's my plain closet? We got this really plain closet. And that's just meant to be for us to put stuff in. Like what all would a gardener use stuff for? We figured this coal box could be used, or this box could be used as a storage for tools. This one could be used as like knee pads and other stuff. Maybe, I don't know. That was just the thought process I had there. Closet might be helpful. And then we'll put these bags on here. And then I'm going to take a good look at my inventory because I'm pretty sure everything else is for somewhere else. Yep. Alrighty. And then for this, we're going to put these style doors. Now we're coming over here. So I kind of already got rid of our wall here. Thought I'd done more, but I had not. Alright, so sort our inventory. Let's get our patterned stone wall, because again, we're going to kind of create a wall here. We don't need it to go there. One down. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm not sure. What happened there? In theory, there should be enough for our entire structure here. The stair step it up. Oh well. I know where there's more. In our boxes! And then we go back to our stone slope roof here. Bam. Nice little fit. Another thing that was off. That's weird. Oh well. Here's to hoping that none of the other stuff is off. 3 more of those. I could have sworn I had taken the build and just swapped everything in. Alrighty. Now we gotta build stairs. If I recall, we can only do one block there. Okay. And then... So the dimensions changed a little bit for down here, but it does give me a little extra room. So how can that be a bad thing? We're going to put a chair there. Then we're going to put this flowery table setting here. Oh, yeah. Tea setting. There we go. That's how I had it. My apologies. Tea setting. Then we wanted that there. See? Happy little plant. That's what I did. One of them had roof tiles along the bottom row. Darn. Oh well. Alrighty. So the bookshelf we're gonna put right there. No, I don't like it that high. We're gonna put it elsewhere. We'll stick it there. And then... So what we're going to do is we're going to run out here. We're going to pick up the C-dot lamp. And we're going to go to our gift shop. You what? No. We're not going to go to the gift shop. We're just going to go up here. 1, 2, 3, just in case. We really don't need those registers to have power. The game mechanics are such. There's not a... yeah. So this space is a lot more open than what I originally was working with. But... I opened it up upstairs and adjusted for that, but did not adjust the downstairs. We're going to go ahead and toss our door up. As you see, this immediately became a house. Let's see here what I did. Then we had our rowlet clock. There. And then we put a crystal ball in here. And then I toss a gold nugget under the stairs. Then we'll go ahead and set this right here. And we'll need to get more of the potted plants from our supplies. In fact, we're going to swap. I kind of like it being... That shelf was there. And then this shelf there. We'll go ahead and stick that there. And this decorative bookshelf there. So yeah. Cozy little living room space. Then we come on up. And the first thing we're going to put is the handrail. Yep, nope, that was right. Put the bed. I'm going to go over. I thought these kind of looked cute like that in the window there. Almost like a dream catcher. And then I did this. I feel like I had something else. There we go, that's what I did. But I think I did that higher. No. That's how it was. I did this one higher. There we go. That's what I did. Alright. Now there is some stuff that I did not put in there that I know goes into that room. So bear with me here. We're gonna place our floor switch right here. We're gonna plop our Magby statue down. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to put anything in that we've got on us right now in there. We will likely power that up here in a little bit. Alright. Temporarily that. So there was extra wood, hardwood flooring with what I brought in there. That was intentional on my part. Alrighty. That's what I needed. And then that's what I needed. Alrighty. Now we're going to decorate that space a little bit. I feel like we need to put something else on that wall. Alrighty. So... first I did that. And I thought this right here would work nicely for helping add a little bit of a glow to the room. And right there for another. Another plant there. You know what? No. I don't quite like it there. Let's stick it right here. Under that wall. And then I want to stick that there. Yeah. And then from here, I'm going to come out. Like that. I don't want to go any lower than that. And then I want to put a wreath there. And a wreath there. And then we've got more of these vine decorations. We're going to go above, right here. Bam. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and we'll toss two there. Because we have the wreath there, it won't let us pop that one there, so let's try maybe not putting the wreath there. And we'll put the wreath somewhere else. You know what? I dig it. Right there. There we go. And now for the ivy. we can't put it on this one. But we can put it on this one. And we can also put some here. There we go. I think that's a little too much. I kind of like the idea of having those last three kind of barely holding on. But I think the one going right across, kind of as you come under the stairs, looks nice. But I want to be able to... Bam. So if I play with it, can I... No. Okay. That's fine. I like that still. And what we can do... Put a little horizontal growth on the wall. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. And then we'll do some more of this over here. But yeah. Here is our little gardener's cottage. So I think with that extra space, the best thing to do is to move the toy. Because this is something that I thought that both of them would like having. We'll stick that there. Oh wait, I couldn't put the plant because of the decoration. That's right. You know what? That's how we're going to balance this. We're going to take those off. We're going to swap out. No. You are good. The wreath for where the rowlet clock was. And then that wreath is going to become the rowlet clock. And then on the other side is where we'll put the wreath. Which plant did we not use? Oh, we used all of them. Well, what's another plant? Let us go get the inhabitants for this. You know what? No, we're going to finish up that dirt block. Because while yes, a lot of this dirt block will eventually end up being swapped out for other things. We can leave those in our inventory. I'd rather have a base of dirt to work with. It's going to be easier to pull off the ground than any other item. Stone, we would have to eat our hamburger steaks if we power up. But we can easily swap out these blocks. But giving it with the dirt, we know that when we want to rototill the dirt for farm soil, that we can plant on it. And any kind of blocks that we want to get rid of to alter the terrain, we can alter that in the moment. But I think filling up this entire area with dirt as our base is the smart move. And then add in our structures. Like, I know for a fact that I would like to put a little pond. I want to do maybe like a creek running through it, and that ends up in that pond with a waterfall, with a water wheel. So, like, there's ideas. I'm thinking that the staircase is going to kind of be turned into a cave with mushrooms growing in it and moss and whatnot. And that was kind of my idea process with all of this, was try to fill it up with stuff that would make sense. And then we want to do a nice little irrigation and a lot of veggies and fruit trees. So let's get these last few blocks placed. Then we'll get Meowscarada and Floragato and move them in. Because they'll have plenty of walking room and they're not going to be like, oh no, I can't get to my house. Just fill in the spot. All the soil. Happy little soil. I don't even know if I have enough soil on me with, so I know how much soil we started with in that chest. So I'm kind of curious if I could actually fill up this building with what I had. Now, admittedly, we already had some of that space taken care of for the stone of the kitchen and whatnot. But yeah, my thought process was the stairways could be used to create like a little mock cave for growing mushrooms. And that would look cute, and we want to do a walking path. So, like, there's a lot of ideas floating around my head, and there's... Yes, space is limited, but I think we can pull off something that will look really nice. Almost look like I said before, that kind of like Willy Wonka meets veggies and fruit trees instead of candy. Sweet, we were able to fill it all up. Wonder how much I had left. Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. We started off with 1,584 to end up with basically just shy of 500. So, 25 shy of 500, 475. Well, technically that would be 474, but sorry. Alrighty. Deposit that. Looking good. Do I have any stairs over here that are extra right now? No, I do not. That's okay. Oh, I do have one stair extra. We can toss that over here. be nice. Alrighty. Let's go get our gardeners. I wonder if Mewtwo is home. Or wandering. It's quite possible. I don't know. I don't know. But we have everything placed. And it's quite possible that the game despawned Mewtwo for me, because I had to summon Mewtwo into the game, I think. Take him over there. So, Meowscarada, follow me. Lorgato, follow me. We're taking you to your new home. I used white concrete stairs over there. I'm half tempted to do the same. There. Done. That made it easy. We already got it. Let's use it. Kitties run. I really hope they like their new homes. Or new home. Right now, I moved them in there, but prior to that, they were just... Oh, come on. Florgato. Go through the door, buddy. But yeah. This will be their house. All right, come on. And they immediately walk off rather than explore the inside of their house. Brilliant. As I try to figure out where they're going. Because now I'm really intrigued. Where is Florgato going? Because they're moving like they're set on something. They find it quite nice. Okay. So one thing I've noticed is when you first move them over, they're kind of like, it's nice. Kind of got to give them time to adjust to it. I'm hoping that we won't run into the problem of them not wanting to use the stairs to get to the bed. But technically it should be decked out with items that they both like. So we'll give them time. And it may be with the a day or two of living in there as their house. And once we get this greenhouse really looking nice, that they're like, oh my god, this is amazing. But like, I moved Gengar into a closet with a luxury bed, a gold nugget, and a crystal ball, and like some party banners. And that's it in the original museum. And it was swift to go to. I'm very happy. So yeah, here's our little shed. We got our gardener's cottage. We got our kitchen, which we need to get something to put into our kitchen, so that way that furnace powers those items. But we also got, because this is probably faster than going by the elevator, our dining room basically set up for our little greenhouse cafe. And I am definitely going to be adding some decorations along this ledge. We're going to see a lot more color come into this room. I do want to make sure that it's functional like a dining space would be, on the theory that servers are going to be moving through here with those push carts to deliver food to tables. So like, we can add some decorations. We'll put stuff on the tables. We're going to add plant life around here. There's going to be dangling lights, kind of like what we had before. Maybe, I don't know. We'll figure it out. There'll maybe some hanging pots around here somewhere. We may have like one of those things where it's like wires coming off of like one of these corner pieces that come down to an entire thing of cube lights that goes all the way around, basically right here. And then we'll have vines hanging off of it and stuff like that. We'll figure it out. We got plenty of room to work with here. I think we can come up with something nice to get it decorated and looking really good. And like I said, food items on the table is definitely going to help. Tea set, anything to make it look like it's being actively used will make this room move from being just a bunch of tables into looking like a proper cafe. So with that, I think we're going to end the stream there for tonight. And then I will see you again for Shiny Sunday. I thank you for joining us, and if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you like and subscribe and follow me on Twitch and Instagram, where I tend to post pictures from my other builds around Pallet Town. So, like, if you want to see my original greenhouse and kind of see where we're coming from with this one and why I want to do something a little bit different, but at the same time, some of that inspiration that carries over, because we are doing a greenhouse still. And yes, we're going to have vine wall decorations all over this. So it's going to be nice, I promise. By the end of this, you won't recognize this space either in front of here. Because once we finish the inside of this greenhouse and the cafe, that's when I turn my attention to everything from over here, getting rid of all these boxes, doing our terraforming to make a nice pathway to get all the way around the building, adding in all of our plant life and walkways. I'm going to add in some mushroom lamps probably, and we're going to get this all set up exactly how I want it and get pathing all the way from the museum to our main kind of like brick road thoroughfare here, and get it looking real nice. And like all these flowers here, this was all just been me growing flowers and bushes from seeds that I've collected from going to various dreams islands, or because like whenever I go to a dream island, it's so much faster just to be like, okay, I'm going to use powered up cut and take all of these at once and suck them all in rather than trying to do it. And while yeah, that does mean I have to plant them and grow them and rototill them if I want to move them from that spot, it does make the resource gathering a lot faster in Dream Islands, and I have a tendency, I don't like to do resource gathering in like long sessions. I like to get what I want and get out, and time it takes to rototill everything, I'd much rather just come here and kind of, when I've got downtime, plant them and then remove them. But thank you for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed the stream, and I hope you like what I'm doing with the museum so far. And we'll see you again soon. Sunday will be Shiny Sunday, and then we'll resume our Pokopia build on Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. Again, like and subscribe.